What's Beethoven doing in his grave? Decomposing.
What do you call a musical group composed of dads? A pop band.
My friend composes songs about sewing machines. He's a singer-songwriter, or so it seems.
Beethoven had one major rule about composing. If it ain't Baroque, don't fix it.
A long time ago, I had a job where I had to impersonate a German composer. Back in the day.
Why couldn't the songwriter cross the river? He couldn't make it to the bridge.
How did the police know the songwriter has skipped town? He left behind several notes.
My sister came out today and told us that she identifies as a musical instrument. I always had my suspicions about harmonica.
After hearing me sing for the first time, my music teacher told me I should be tenor. 10 or 12 feet away from her and all musical instruments at all times.
What musical instrument can you absolutely not trust? A lyre.
Today I found out what scuba means. Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. I also found out why they call the musical instrument a tuba. A terrible underwater breathing apparatus.
What do you call a group of killer whales carrying musical instruments? An orchestra.
How do you make a raspberry jam? Just give it musical instruments.
I bought a musical instrument for my daughter, which cost me $1,000. It was a grand piano.
I'm not allowed within 500 yards of a musical instrument. I'm a registered sax offender.
A music project in the ghetto taught a lot of youngsters to play string instruments. The crime rate dropped significantly. But now they have a lot of violins.
My musical instruments had done something horrible. There were negative repercussions.
I was thinking to myself, if I wanted to race some musical instruments, where would I go? Then it came to me, a soundtrack, of course.
Achieving world peace is simple. Just burn all musical instruments. Then there will finally be no violins.
What is the least entertained musical instrument? The keyboard.
What do you say to a German man who sneezed because his musical instrument is too small for him? Kazoo tight.
Weird Al bought his daughter a musical instrument. It's all going according to his plan.
No matter where I go, I like to bring my ukulele. Then, whenever someone asks if I play an instrument, I say, I play a little guitar.
A woman was on trial for beating her husband to death with his guitar collection. Judge asked, first offender? She says, no, first a Gibson, then a Fender.
Some guy just said he was going to attack me with the neck of a guitar. I said, is that a fret?
I'll be sharing my secret for being an amazing guitar player later today. Stay tuned.
I won't use just any equipment to play my guitar. I'm very picky.
I always keep my guitar in my car. It's good for traffic jams.
When I was a kid, I wanted to play the guitar really badly. And after years of hard work, practice, and dedication, I can now play the guitar really badly.
I bought a guitar made out of diamond. Now I can play some hard rock.
Free guitar. No strings attached.
If you're buying a guitar, watch out for deals that seem too good to be true. You'll find there's too many strings attached.
Laughter continues shortly after this brief ad break. After playing guitar for years, I thought I could learn to play the piano. But it's not an easy instrument to pick up.
The only time anyone should fret over nothing is playing air guitar.
My girlfriend is obsessed with perfectly tuning her guitar. I think she just craves attention.
What do you call a deer that plays the guitar? Stevie Ray Vaughan.
I have had a very strange day. First I find a hat full of money, then I get chased by an angry dude with a guitar.
Why are guitars always so sad? Because they're always getting picked on.
I was cleaning my finger gun the other day and shot a hole in my air guitar.
What would happen if a piano fell on you? You'd be flat.
I double majored in geology and piano. I've always had a passion for rock music.
My uncle died recently, crushed by a piano. His funeral was low-key.
The doorbell rang and the lady of the house discovered a workman, complete with tool chest, on the front door. "Lady," he announced, "I'm the piano tuner." The lady exclaimed, "Why, I didn't send for a piano tuner." The man replied, "I know, but your neighbors did."
I have played piano for years. I used to play by ear. It sounds much better now that I use my hands.
What's brown and sits on a piano stool? Beethoven's Final Movement.
After we moved the piano to our new house, all the bass notes were way out of tune. It was low-key fucked up.
I was walking down the street this morning and I was hit by a violin, then a clarinet, and then a French horn. I think it was an orchestrated attack.
I just fired the maid for playing the fiddle. I will not tolerate domestic violins.
Building a violin can be relaxing. There's no need to fret.
What's the difference between a fiddle and a violin? The amount of teeth the user has.
Why was the orchestra rated R? Sax and violins.
A violin, feeling betrayed, turns to his friend and says, "They played me like a damn fiddle."
The longest drum solo in history was 6 hours 28 minutes. Performed by a child sitting behind me on the flight to Toronto.
My annoying neighbor knocked on my door at 3 a.m. last night. Luckily, I was still awake practicing my drums.
What's the best present you can give someone? A broken drum. No one can beat that.
Why do drum kits have the strongest password protection? Because they contain special symbols.
When I was younger, I played the drums, but quit after a short time. I considered taking it up again after many years, but decided not to. I was afraid there'd be repercussions.
What is the most suspenseful sushi? A drum roll.
Did you hear about the man who played his saxophone while having brain surgery? He nearly blew his mind.
I bought a cheap saxophone. Yeah, it was a tenor.
If I were a trumpet player, I would constantly borrow other people's trumpets. I'd hate to toot my own horn.
If you suck at playing the trumpet, that's probably why.
An orchestra conductor calls 911. Help! My oboe player swallowed his reed. What do I do? The 911 operator says simple. Have a muted trumpet cover the part.
The police showed up at my house one night while I was practicing my trumpet. Said they were investigating a homicide. They said they had a report that somebody named Miles Davis was being murdered in my house.
Why did Voldemort play the trumpet? Because he was in the Azkaban.
I'm Bob Jeffy.
And I'm Montgomery Jones.
We're on a mission to spread the laughs and groans far and wide, so please do us a favor and share just one of these jokes with your family and friends today. Thanks. Looking for the gift for Dad? We have the official Daily Dad Jokes podcast electronic joke button now available on Amazon. A massive 500 preloaded dad jokes guaranteed to make you laugh and groan. Check the show notes page for the link. The Daily Dad Jokes podcast is produced by Classic Studios. See the show notes page for social media links and joke credits. This show was recorded in front of a Cannes studio audience.